Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. Remember, new episodes come out every Wednesday. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the like button on this video as well as all our other videos. You can also find us on Instagram, Twitter, and even TikTok at Big Red Zone. And tell a friend. This week, we're going to be looking into the NFL Week 1. It is here. After so many Sundays of no football, we are back, and it's going to start with the Patriots taking on the Dolphins. We'll break down that. We're going to look into the Way Too Early Awards. We're going to pick our future MVPs and picks of the week. All that and more on this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I am joined by Danny Football.
What's going on, Big Red?
And our good friend Jared Haibon is here again.
Fellas. Week 1. I mean, if we didn't talk enough about Cam Newton last week, we don't really have to talk about him ever again, apparently.
We never have to talk about Cam Newton until he probably joins, who knows, the Dolphins, the Texans, whatever, and then lights us up. I don't know. That would be interesting. That was a total shock to me. I didn't think they were going to cut him. We were talking about it last week. We thought he was going to start week 1. He was the week 1 starter. And then Mac Jones, the future of the franchise.
That's all right. We're a Mac Jones podcast now.
We are a Mac Jones podcast. We should just change the name to the Mac Jones Zone.
Oh, Mac and Cheese podcast. I like it.
Mac and Cheese podcast.
Well, it was like Mac Vision. I like that one.
Mac Vision.
I mean, dude, this is it. This is the heir apparent to Tom Brady. Last season, we had Cam, we had the 1-year veteran holdover. This is it. This is the next guy. This is what we've all been waiting for. I am beyond excited to see what he can bring. The problem is that expectations are so high on this team, and they're so high on Mac right now. I mean, if this team, you're talking about a rookie quarterback, and the expectations is to make the playoffs. And if the Patriots don't make the playoffs, it's a disappointing season.
Not only that, like the way people are talking, they're talking to go like 17-0. Like it's like they're saying the defense.
Well, those people are stupid.
I saw on Twitter today, Mac Jones will be the rookie of the year. Mac Jones, rookie of the year, playoff, future Super Bowl MVP. I saw something that said, prediction, Mac Jones, when they retire, Mac Jones will have more Super Bowl rings than Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, my God.
And he hasn't even started a week 1.
I mean, these are the same people that thought Jared Stidham was going to be a good quarterback, so.
I know.
Easy. I thought he was going to be a good quarterback. Let's take it easy.
Can we settle down on the Mac hype train? I like Mac. I like him a lot. I like what we see. The offense looks great. It looks like it's in rhythm. It looks like Tom Brady's offense when Mac Jones is behind center. But let's settle down on the future Super Bowl 7-time champion or whatever people are saying about Mac Jones.
Just wait until they win week 1. They're going to be all over it.
Dude, they're probably going to start 2-0. They're going to beat the Dolphins and the Jets.
They're going to be 2-0, and they're going to be playing on the parade route.
Well, we saw it last year when remember last year, Cam, we won week 1 and Tom lost week 1, and we were like, see, they won it. Bill, it's all Bill. It's all this. Do
you know how many text messages I got after that week 1? And I wasn't even like, I became a full troll after that, especially during the playoffs when he just kept winning and the Patriots didn't even make it. But like, I love the Patriots, but I was like, I'm still rooting for Tom. And then when Cam came out and we beat the Dolphins, and then obviously Brady and the Bucs got smoked at that 4:30 game against the Saints. Oh my God. People were like, oh, Tom looks good, huh? He looks great. Good thing good thing he's not back. And it's like, and then I got so many team over Tom. I'm like, can you guys shut the hell up? Can I just root for the Patriots and root for Tom Brady for the love of God?
I will say I remember that was my pick of the week. I remember I said I think the Saints are going to blow the doors off the Bucs.
Didn't you had the Saints over the Bucs all year long.
Both times they played. Bucs lost both against the Saints, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got blown out
Not in the
time.
playoffs. The playoffs is when it came due, but
yeah. I was like, let's pump the brakes a little bit on this kid. Like, we don't need, that's why I was so nervous to start in week 1. This is the reason I did not want to start in week 1, is because now it's like, he's going to win rookie of the year. He's going to win a Super Bowl this year. He's like going to do all this stuff. And it's like, if he can just have a solid year and win, like what we said last week, like between 10 and 11, 12 games, And that's a really good first year for Mac Jones. If we're like a
Oh,
wild card,
100%.
if we can be a wild card team, that's such a success for Mac Jones's first year. I don't need to win the division. I don't need to go 17-0. We can get those 10 wins that we talked about last week. If we can do that, I think it's like, I think what else? He doesn't have to win Rookie of the Year. We don't have to win the Super Bowl. I hope we do. But
I mean, the problem is the Patriots, they got to make the playoffs.
They do.
If you spend $200 million in the offseason, you bring in all these, quote unquote weapons, even though I think Aguilar and Bourne might be a little overrated, but you bring in Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, the top 2 tight ends, you bring in Matthew Judon, you re-sign your players, Hightower's back, Van Noy's back, like you got to make the playoffs. And it sucks saying that with a rookie quarterback. That's why I was hoping that they'd bring someone else besides Cam. Like if they brought, if Alex Smith didn't retire, or even like Fitzpatrick for a year, just to like get the rookie in there, get his feet wet, wait till year 2 when he gets into an NFL gym and he can actually start pumping iron or do whatever NFL players do in order to get ready to have a 10-year season, or 10-year career. But my point being, yeah, it's nerve-wracking to look at a rookie quarterback and be like, hey, if you don't make the playoffs, it's disappointing, bro.
Yeah. I actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I liked the Fitz. I wish they signed Fitz this year. And I was even thinking, like, looking at it now, I wish we signed Danny Football's boy.
Andy Dalton?
I would have liked a year of Andy Dalton, to be honest. I would have taken Andy Dalton for a year. And Zach, you would have loved that.
That's a hell of a quarterback tree to be under.
If you
Joe Burrow learned under him. Dak Prescott's learned under him. Now Justin Fields, damn.
Could have been Mac Jones instead of Fields.
I'd rather have Andy Dalton than Cam Newton, 100%.
Ooh, I love it. Keep this praise going, boys.
Andy Dalton looked good
This is
last year.
going to be the Andy Dalton podcast now.
Honestly, though, you're right, though. Like, I would have rather had Andy Dalton than Cam Newton, because the problem became, and we all knew that if Mac did win the job and Bill went with Mac, you had to cut Cam.
Right.
That's what sucks. Cam was too much of a personality. He even said in that video he did in the offseason where they all sit around, he was like with Chad Ochocinco, and he's like, there's not 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than me. Like, Cam fully expects to be a starter, and I think he's too big of a shadow to be a backup. But if you bring in Andy Dalton and Mac wins the job and you want to go with Mac, I feel like Andy's fine being the backup.
Yeah, we already see that in Chicago. He knows Justin Fields is taking his job.
At some point.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Same thing with Fitz. Like Fitz last year with Tua. Like Fitz balled out for those first few weeks, and he still lost his job to Tua. And he was like, I'll come in. And when he would come in when Tua was terrible, he still Fitz put up numbers, and he still kind of mentored Tua last year. I would have liked one of those.
He wasn't a pain in the ass.
Right.
He wasn't a distraction.
Right. And you're right. Cam's too big of a personality to be there. And I don't think he takes anything personally because I think Cam's the one that said, cut me. But I don't think he's mad about that. I just think he couldn't be here as a backup quarterback. I don't know.
It's too, like, you're talking about a former MVP, first overall pick. Like, Cam's still got a lot of juice in the NFL, in the league. Yeah. And so, like, if you have that guy as your backup and say Mac goes out there and has a 3-pick game, like, people are going to be like, maybe we should go back to Cam. But if Mac goes out there and has a 3-pick game, you're not going to hear a lot of people like, we need Andy Dalton to start this week. It's like, he's like the perfect he's your perfect guy for this team, and we should have gotten him. So there you go, Zach. There you go, Danny Football. Go with your boy.
I'll take my victory lap.
Who's available right now? Because who's the backup quarterback of this team?
Brian Hoyer.
I thought he went to the practice squad. Is he back on the full
until Jarrett Stidham comes off the pup?
Oh God, I can't. How is Stidham still on this team? How is this guy still on the team after what's happened over the past couple of years? And he's hurt, and he can't even play the first 6 weeks. I feel like I'm mind boggled. Does he have some sort of blackmail on Belichick?
He must
have. Unless, like, Belichick,
he doesn't have good enough blackmail to start, but he has good enough blackmail to stay on the team.
Apparently, something. How is this guy still? Look, if they cut him, like, is any team gonna pick him up? Maybe. I don't really know, but I don't know. Brian Hoyer scares me as the backup, because if Mac goes down, which he already has a knee that's hurting him apparently, that scares me.
I don't even know who else is even out there. Cam.
it up.
We'll just go re-sign Cam.
Oh God, don't even.
What a tail between your legs moment if we have to go sign Cam Newton midway through the year.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
I think Bill would rather start Hoyer.
I think so
I think
too.
he would. Do I want to start Brian Hoyer? No. But in
We
an
saw it
emergency-
last year. It's not going to work.
But I'd
If-
rather start Brian Hoyer than Jared Stidham. I think I'd
Yes,
go
yep.
with I think I'd go Brian Hoyer.
I'd go Hoyer too, 100%. Because at least we were getting Hoyer. And even that Kansas City game last year,
He
what was
wasn't
it, Monday Night
terrible.
Football? I mean, he had those awful plays. That play before halftime where he took the sack
Yeah.
and we had no timeouts. And then there was another one. I think he fumbled like in the red zone, but he did move the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, but Brian Hoyer scares me as a backup just because Mac Jones, like I said, he already has his brace on his knee. We've all seen the pictures with his shirt off. He doesn't look like he's, in that.
He's an every
great-
man, guys. He's an every man.
He is an every man, but I'll tell you, not every man can last 17 games in the NFL. So that scares me because, say he's out for 2 weeks. Brian Hoyer is going to be our quarterback. That sucks. So I don't know. Maybe it sucks too. In hindsight, we still had Cam at the time, but when the Eagles traded for Garner Minshew, would they give up a 7th round pick or something like
Yeah,
that?
wasn't-
That's
that
another
would-
guy. It would have been great to have him as a backup. Another guy that doesn't need to start, but if he, can be ready at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I would have 100% taken would have taken Gardner
Gardner
Minshew
Minshew.
for
Totally.
a 7th round. That is a no-brainer. I don't know how what's this?
Oh God, do you want to know some of the free agents apparently right now? This is from a month ago, but I don't think much has changed.
I'm looking at I'm looking at this website from August 23rd.
Yeah, I see Matt Barkley, woof. Blake Bortles, Ryan Finley. I don't even know who that is.
He was the heir apparent to Dalton the first time.
Yeah, that's right. He was an old Bengal. Drew Stanton.
Is Nick Foles still a free agent?
No, he's not a free. He's signed. He's with the Bears.
Still with the Bears?
I don't think they've cut him yet. He was the 3rd string quarterback. I don't know if they cut him or not.
So he's behind. So it's Andy Dolan, Herbert,
Fields.
Fields. So you have Andy Dolan, Fields, and Nick Foles.
They're trying to, I think, move him for something because he has such a big contract. It would cost a lot of money, I think, just to cut him. RG3. Take RG3. Take a flyer on him.
There's not a name you've said yet that I would
I
take.
know.
There's not going to be Josh Rosen
Nope.
Well, would you go with Foles? Would you
Nope.
take Nick Foles?
No.
as a backup. It depends on what you'd have to give up for him. If he was a
Yeah,
I don't
free
like his
agent-
contract.
I don't want to pay him.
No, but if he got released or they did a rework of his deal, I'd take him. Like the player, I would take, not
We
for
could
that.
trade for Jimmy G after Lance beats him out.
He'll probably end up getting cut.
I know, but he's getting paid $25 million, and that's the other thing. You can't bring Jimmy G here because he does the exact same thing that Cam does. Because if Jimmy comes back and is a backup role for Mac Jones, and Mac has a bad game, especially in New England, people are going to say, "Well, do we put Jimmy G in?" I would say it.
Yeah, I would. I just love Jimmy G. You know who they should get out of retirement? Who's actually said, if a team needs me midway through the year, he'll come back. You know who that is?
Brett
Philip
Favre.
Rivers.
Philip Rivers.
Give me Philip Rivers midway
Oh,
through the season if there's an injury.
God, I just puked a little bit. Philip Rivers. I can't believe he would come back. Doesn't he have 12 kids? He's got things to do.
He's got to.
Well, he has bills to pay, so
Yeah, he's got to put food on the table. He's got 12 mouths.
Fair point.
I don't know. That list is some slim pickings on that list.
No.
Did Larry?
Marcus Mariota is still the backup in Vegas, but again,
He's getting
I
paid some
don't-
decent money to be in there.
yeah, it's I don't want to pay any of these guys. So maybe Hoyer's the guy. Maybe Hoyer's it.
There's no one else really.
I know, unless Alex Smith comes out of retirement.
He won't. If I had to put money on someone coming out of retirement out of the two of them, I'd say Philip Rivers.
Well, yeah, totally, because Philip Rivers has already said it.
Yeah, but also even if he didn't say it, I would say just body wise, I feel like Alex Smith got his year in on that leg. I feel like he's
Yeah.
like, all right, I proved, like, he wanted to come back and he proved it to himself. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't risk it too much. I wouldn't risk the
Totally.
biscuit for it to come back and be a quarterback for, you know what I mean?
100%.
Side point, because I just saw this on this website. I don't know if this is true. Is Larry Fitz still a free agent?
Yeah, he is.
Dude, if I'm Bill, I'd give him a call, dude. I would take him as a wide receiver for this team.
Oh, that's so sad. I feel bad. Like
How
he's
no
still.
one signed him? He's
I
not
know.
not the Larry Fitz of old, but like you're telling me that some team has six.
Oh, it's on him. He says, I don't have the urge to play right now.
Oh, okay. Good for
Okay.
him then.
I was getting nervous.
Yeah.
'cause I
He's
was
not
like,
retired. He just doesn't want to play right now.
Hey, there we go. I mean, he's 38 though. If he takes the year off,
Yeah.
he's gonna come back as a 39-year-old receiver who took a year off. That seems a little. I don't know. Maybe.
Someone will give it to him. Arizona will
Yeah.
probably give him a retirement year. Des Bryant. I'm just sorry. I just got caught looking at these free agents still here. And
He's on a broken wheel. I'm all set with him.
I'm all set with Des Bryant too. Honestly, man, like as much as I don't think our weapons are as good as advertised, I still like them. Like I like Bourne. I really like Myers. And then the tight ends obviously should be the biggest role in this offense with the money
Right.
paid with him, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. And then Asi, I mean, I'm not having high hopes for the guy, but if he can catch like 20 balls, I'd be happy with that. And then of course you have the run game. I don't think you don't need another big time diva receiver bringing in a Des Bryant who's he's not even on the back nine. He's on the 19th hole, and it's like not even worth our time.
He's in the clubhouse right now. He's on the post.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw Larry Fitz. I was like, I can't believe Larry Fitz hasn't signed yet.
I know he's such a Belichick guy too. You think Belichick would just pick him up just for the locker room aspect of it?
Right. So I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I mean, I guess you're right. Brian Hoyer is the best option out of all of those, I guess.
He's the guy.
Unless
how the hell is Brian Hoyer back here too? Unbelievable. Could you imagine last year? Our quarterback room was Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham, and Brian Hoyer. And I think all of us on this podcast would probably have said, there is no way those guys would be back here next year. All three of them were back.
I would believe Brian Hoyer would be back. Bill just loves him.
It's because he knows the system.
He knows the system. He loves him in practicing again. Bill's talked for hours about how he is so good to prepare the defense for. He plays.
I know. I just thought after that Kansas City game, because he didn't get suited up again, right? After that game, I don't even think he was. I don't
think he was suited up. He was just a practice squad guy.
He had to have been.
Yeah.
Stidham barely saw any time too.
No, I think it was just Stidham and Newton.
Yeah, it was just Stidham and Newton for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
dude, it must be Bill's nephew because this kid. I don't know why they would have. I mean, I guess you put him on the PUP list and then you just move him to the IR for the rest of the season.
I guess,
but I don't know. I don't know. Like,
it feels like you need to wash your hands with this kid. Like you pumped him up, you drafted him. Maybe you thought you saw something. He could potentially be the next guy. I think it's time to just move on. We're full steam ahead on the Mac train. Here we go.
Yeah. It is exciting though. Now, like I think all of us agreed that we wanted Cam to start week 1, but we were all talking. It is exciting to see Mac have the time be now. Like now we know it. It's Mac Jones or bust. Like it's pretty much, and there's no one else. Like we said, there's no one that can come save us in the wings that is a free agent right now. It's Mac or bust, and I'm kind of fired up for this. I can't wait to see him. He's gonna have a couple games against he gets the Dolphins and the Jets the first 2 weeks. You can kind of get his legs under him and kind of see a game at like full speed against like a starting unit. And then, you go into like a wild card game type, like you don't know how good they're going to be in the Saints week 3. And then you got the Super Bowl of Super Bowls week 4. Like that's going to be, he has 3 games to kind of get his legs under him to go into that Tom Brady game. And I hope people just take that game with a grain of salt for Mac Jones. Like, I hope they don't, like, if we get beat 40-something-6, like, let's not trash this kid after probably the biggest game of his life. It's like,
what's funny? I think from my perspective, perspective, I think everybody's kind of whistling past the graveyard in the first 3 weeks between the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Saints, because everybody's like, oh, to get his feet wet, it's an easy schedule. The Dolphins always make me nervous, especially now with Brian Flores. Playing in New York, listen, the Jets blow, but it's only week 2. It would be early in the season, rookie quarterback, new head coach. Sometimes there's just that momentum. Like there's like, I feels like almost that's going to be the Jets Super Bowl. Like take down the Patriots week 2 with the rookie quarterback. And then the Saints, I don't know. Like, I mean, the Saints have always been a good team. Now they don't have Drew Brees. We're going to see what that happens. But my point being is that I'm a little bit more nervous about those first 3 games, and I'm a little bit more optimistic about the game against the Bucks. Listen, I love Tom Brady more than anything. I honestly hope they go 17-0 and then win the Super Bowl in the playoffs. But they're a really good team. I don't think they're as good as people are making them out to be. Don't forget, they went 11-5 last year during the regular season. I mean, they were 7-5 at one point, and then they started playing better, and then they played really well in the playoffs, especially in that Super Bowl. Because don't forget, they played really well in Green Bay, but they almost blew that game. But in the Super Bowl, they obviously dominated, which I think what everyone remembers. I don't think they're going to beat the Buccaneers, but I wouldn't be surprised if it comes down to the wire. I don't think we're going to get blown out by Tampa. That's my rant.
I don't know. The Jets, though, the thing about the Jets, you're right. It's always like that sneaky one where we're going to drop one against like some crap team. Like Miami, since we're home, I'm not too worried about it. Mm-hmm. But I just trust Bill against rookie quarterbacks. Like for some reason, like he's able to just like totally take advantage of rookie quarterbacks. We saw it last year or two with Herbert. Like Herbert was the rookie of the year, and we were able to get a win off of him. And I don't think he compares to Zach. Like I don't think Zach Wilson compares to him. So I'm not I do love their coach. I was a big fan of him from San Fran, but I'm not concerned. I am a little nervous about week 3 because I don't know what team you're going to get. Like Jameis could easily throw over 600 yards in that. He could
also throw 5 picks.
Or he could throw 5 picks in that game.
Exactly.
It's like a total. That's why I call it a wild card game. I have no idea what team you're going to get. But it is going to be interesting. I think those first couple weeks, if we go 0-2 with Mac those first 2 weeks, you're going to you got to start lowering your expectations for the season. Cause if we're not beating the Dolphins and the Jets, especially one of those games at home,
oh my God, dude, if we start 0-2, I don't think this is going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
I'll tell you this though. If we start 0-2, or even if we're 1-2 going into that Tampa game, do not be surprised if half of Gillette Stadium is wearing Tampa Bay Buccaneers Tom Brady jerseys. I'm telling you.
I think that's going to be the case regardless. I think so many people have their Tom Brady Buccaneer jerseys ready to go.
I think so too.
I will make sure I have my Tom Brady Tampa Bay Buccaneer bobblehead ready to go.
It depends on what we're going into that game. If we're 3-0 going into that game, Jared's going to have the Tom Brady walking away bobblehead. If we're anything less than 3-0, then he's going to have the Tampa one up and ready.
I'm going to have them both ready to go just in case. I mean, dude, it's so hard because I can't root. I fucking love Tom Brady so much, man. I don't even know how I'm going to root against them. But the thing is, I'm definitely not rooting against guys like McCourty or Hightower or, the guy, those guys mean so much to me too. All Hightower, that strip sack against Atlanta, one of the, and then everybody forgets he's the one who stopped Marshawn Lynch at the 1-yard line the play before Butler picked it off. God, I love that guy. So,
arguably one of the best
versus
moves.
Brady.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. Just
biggest play. One of the biggest plays in Super Bowl history was that, and no one talks about it, was the stop at the goal line. He came in and saved. That would have been game right there.
That's game set match. Malcolm Butler never gets on the field if Hightower doesn't make that tackle.
Malcolm Butler's probably cut the next year. Doesn't have any doesn't have a career. He built
Tom
a career
Brady
off that play.
So Brady's now 3-3 in Super Bowls. They haven't won since Spygate. It changes plus Deflategate. That was in the
Yeah.
height of Deflategate. So then if they lose that, everybody's gonna be like, oh, they only won Super Bowls because they cheated. And
Right.
it's like, talk about like how one play just changes the rhetoric on everything.
Well, if you look at it too, like it is crazy because like if let's say the helmet catch, like he doesn't make that play. No, like we're not talking like Tom Brady now has like another ring and they go 17-0. Or
Oh, yeah.
It
same
goes
thing
in
if
a million different ways. I mean, you have the Edelman, like
the
a centimeter off the
Totally.
turf
Yeah.
catch. You have Curse who made that jungle gym catch right before the freaking goal line stand. And then you have the tuck rule, a couple of unitary kicks. So Tom
the
Brady's
Welker.
What was
Tom Brady's a light breeze away from being 0-6 and 6-0. So
Yeah.
Oh, totally. That's why, like, I think it evens itself out. He should have 7 Super Bowls. But like crazy, what was the dude's name? Now I'm blanking. That went offsides in Kansas City when Brady threw that pick off Gronkowski's
that wasn't
hand.
Justin Houston, was it?
No, it was
Oh, it was Ford.
D Ford. Dude, my buddy's a
See-
Kansas City Chiefs fan. He's like, dude, D Ford is never allowed back in Kansas City. Yeah, I don't blame
See,
you.
another thing, like one play, like Tom gets them to jump off sides, and now they're going to the Super Bowl instead of not
And it's
going over.
crazy too, because all these games that we talk about where it's like, hey, it could go either way, the game is legitimately over. If D Ford
Yeah.
isn't offsides, the game is over.
Right.
If the tuck rule was never a thing, that game is over. If Hightower doesn't make the tackle, that game is over. Even in the 28-3 game, like you could, if Edelman doesn't make that catch, I'm not saying, it's just like the game might not be. That's the one where like, oh, the game might not be over, but even that, it's so close.
Or if
like,
Matt
if
Ryan
Hyde
literally
plays
just
that.
falls to his knees.
They're
Yeah.
in field goal range.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is why I didn't want to trade Tom Brady. These moments, like now it's all.
That's all right.
over.
Mac
It's all
Jones is going to
over.
make new memories, guys. He's
Yeah,
gonna be good
Mac
to go.
Jones is going to make 20 years of worth of memories.
He's going to be good to
Oh,
go.
I pray to the football gods.
I think about that the Welker catch, the Welker drop too in that Super Bowl too. If Welker made that catch,
He
then
also
it's
had the
over.
Asante Samuel interception that went through
The
his hands.
Asante, yeah, the Asante. Did you see that thing about how Asante Samuel was slamming Bill too? So he said if Bill didn't have Tom, he would just be another coach, and then everyone was roasting him. He's like, and if Bill didn't have you, we'd have another. Or if you didn't, if you could make a catch, we'd have another. Tom would have a 7th ring or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm over that debate. Like I get it's a big debate because Tom just won the Super Bowl, but like I firmly believe if they didn't have each other, it's a totally like it's like we just said. You take one thing out of the equation, it's a totally different.
I totally agree. They needed each other. They're both the best to ever do it at their position. Now, having said that, and this is a big if, because I think the Patriots are going to have a good season. If the Patriots go once again under 500 and Brady goes on another playoff run,
I know it
I'm
does
not
hurt.
saying I'm not going to say it's going to change my mind, but holy
Yeah.
shit, I'm going to think long and hard on this. I still think it's 50-50 for me. It was always
Yeah.
50-50.
I'm sticking with 9-8, 10-7. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to change my prediction now that Mac's the dude.
No, he's saying that it's always 50-50 that Bill and
Brady
Tom.
Belichick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even if they
I
go
thought
under
it-
500.
I thought it was meaning 500 as like for the season.
Well,
said-
if they do go, what my point is, if they go under 500,
Yeah, I don't
this
think that's
is
going to happen though. I don't think just because Mac's in there now is going to change our predictions from if Cam was going to play.
I think
No.
it gives me a little
If
more
it-
confident.
It makes me more confident too. I think.
I think I'll tell you after. We'll talk about it next week. We'll see how
Well,
confident.
to be fair, as much as I love Tom Brady, I was pretty confident that the Buccaneers were not going to win the Super Bowl last year. I always thought like Brady's going to put up gaudy numbers. He's got weapons, and they'll be bounced in the second round because Bruce Arians is not a good coach, and they'll make stupid plays. Boy, was I wrong. So, like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't sold on their defense the whole year. I was sold on the offense. The defense I wasn't sold on at the beginning of the year, but they picked it up that last month, dude. And now they're ranked, I think, one of the top defenses going into this season. So going into week 1, I think it's only right that we start predicting who's going to be in the Super Bowl before we even seen one game. Let's say right here. Let's call it right here and now. Zach did call the Suns being in the NBA Finals. I don't know if it was preseason, but it was very early in the season.
That was right after the CP3 trade.
It was right at the CP3 trade. I'm waiting for another team who's going to be coming in second. Zach, who's going to be the second place team of the year?
It's going to be Bills and Bucks. And I'm going to say the Bucks take it again. So it will be the Bills finishing in second place.
Wow. So that means the Bucks are not going to make make the Super Bowl, and the Bills are going to come in second. Right? No. Who did you call it? Who did you say to be in the? I think we said Celtics Suns. I think that's what you said.
Celtics Suns, yeah.
So
that's okay.
That's okay.
I can't pick the Bills and the Patriots, so it has to be one or the other.
Jared, what do you got for us? What do you think's your Super Bowl? Way too early Super Bowl prediction.
Way too early Super Bowl predictions. Wow, it is way too early. Let me take it even like. All right, so here it is. I think that the best team in the AFC is the Kansas City Chiefs. But I think that they will not be making the Super Bowl because to make the Super Bowl 3 years in a row is extremely difficult. And I think this is going to be a weird pick. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a bounce back season.
Ooh.
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl because I think Roethlisberger has one more kick at the can. I think their defense is good enough. I think they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back season, and I think they're going to be in the Super Bowl. And from the NFC, listen, I love the Bucks. I love Tom Brady more than anything, pretty much, even probably more than my wife. Don't tell her that. But to win back-to-back Super Bowls hasn't been done since the 2003 and 2004 New England Patriots. It's extremely difficult to do. If there is one person that can do it, it's Tom Brady. But I don't think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to repeat this year. I think another veteran quarterback who feels like he only has a couple more kicks at the can. And I think he's going to actually have a really strong season because this man operates with a level of spite that I've never seen before. And I think it's going to be the Green Bay Packers against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Super Bowl. What is this, 55, 56? What the hell are we? I think it's 50.
It doesn't matter.
55, 56, whatever it is. I think it's going to be the rematch of the 2010 Super Bowl. We got Packers, Steelers, Rodgers, Roethlisberger, and then are we picking the winner?
Yeah, you can pick the winner.
Yeah, I think the Packers are going to win. I think the Packers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I think Rodgers is so spiteful towards the Packers that he's going to stick it to the organization by winning the Super Bowl and then walking away. That's what I think is going to happen.
And MVP in Super Bowl back-to-back years. I like that.
I like it.
Yeah. I think he's going to be an MVP of the league this past year, and then this year he's going to be the Super Bowl MVP, and this is going to be his way of sticking it to the Packers organization and then walking away and being like, hey, I brought you a Super Bowl. Now I never want to play for you ever again.
I like that. I actually like that a lot. I had him. It's the one. I had a couple good calls in a row, and I wish I put money down on it. The night of draft night, I said Aaron Rodgers is last draft night. I said Aaron Rodgers is winning the MVP this year because it was such a low blow to you have Aaron Rodgers who's like a franchise quarterback, and in the first round you take a quarterback like that's like us having Tom Brady and then taking Joe Bar. I don't know who is it taking
Cam
any
Newton.
first round. Cam, yeah, easy. I like the Aaron Rodgers pick. That makes me rethink my choice, but I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna go with a good friend of us coming out of the NFC. I'm going with a good friend of ours. And I think it's, like we said, it is tough to go back-to-back Super Bowls. But I think if anyone's going to do it, it's Tom. I think Tom sees the light at the end of the tunnel, and he's pushing to get as many rings as he can down the stretch of his career. And I think he really he's always looking for something else to keep pushing him going forward. So I think the Bucks are going to be in the Super Bowl again this year, which is
I hope you're right, my friend.
And for the AFC, I don't know if this team is actually I don't really have much faith in this, but this is who I think it would be. I think it would be a good matchup, and I think there's a chance it could happen depending on if everything goes right this year. I think this team is a all around team. It's not one player. It has good defense. It has some weapons on the offensive end. It has a really solid offensive line, which is what I kind of base things on for an offensive side because, like, listen, your running game could get shut down somewhere. You could, like, quarterback could stink, but if you don't have you have a solid offensive line and give your quarterback that extra couple seconds, give that extra hole for the running back, I think it changes the whole game. So it has a really solid running back, and I think it's a reinvigorated offense going into this year. And I think it's Super Bowl 56. It's in Los Angeles, California. I think this is a Super Bowl that will be the highest spectacle Super Bowl of all time if this happens. This will be the highest rated Super Bowl of all time. I'm going New England Patriots versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
God.
Have that. Imagine that. I don't know. I'm getting all my hopes up. But
yeah, you're putting it out into the universe.
I'm putting out to the universe to see if something will stick. Can you imagine in LA, you have Bill Belichick versus Tom, the GOAT versus the heir to the GOAT. You can finally see in a Super Bowl. I know you're gonna have the regular season, but who is gonna win that game? Is it truly Tom or Bill? I think it would be an amazing game, and I'm putting it out there. I think Zach is more closer with the Bills. I think the Bills have a really good shot of making it to the Super Bowl. But
I don't mind tossing the Pats positive energy out there.
And I think it would be great for the NFL. I think that would be such a highly rated Super Bowl that I think they would want to see that.
It would be the most hyped up Super Bowl of all time. Belichick versus Brady. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
It would be unbelievable. It would be the craziest Super Bowl I've ever. Even if I wasn't a Patriots fan or Tom Brady fan, I think that would be such like it'd be as big as if like not as big because Tom's like on a different level, but it would be like if, like you said, Aaron Rodgers goes to another team and Aaron Rodgers plays the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl.
It's the NFL equivalent of Avengers Endgame. Like
it is.
It would be the biggest game of all time, the most hyped up. There'd be trailers left and right, pictures of Brady versus Belichick. That's all people would talk about, and it would be too good. It would be too good.
It'd be awesome. So I'm throwing it out in the universe. I want it to happen. We'll probably get a good idea of that after 4 weeks if we're 0-4. But hey, I'm putting it out there. And if that doesn't happen, I'm not hating on Mac. I'm not putting this expectation on Mac. I think he can do it. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to be that hard on the kid. All right. So we just did our way too early Super Bowl predictions. Let's go to this is a segment that we done a bunch of times. I guess we could add another way on it, but this is the way too early award. All right, so way too early awards. We have the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year. We're each going to go through. We're going to pick a person for each one. Do you want to start off with Coach of the Year?
Yeah, let's start with that.
Zach, what do you got? Dane Football, what do you got?
Coach of the Year, I'm gonna go Brian Flores. I think he's gonna keep the positive trajectory going with the Dolphins. Another year under his belt. He has Tua has the full reins this year. It's gonna be a competitive division, so he's really had to step up his game. And he has a little bit more weapons that he was able to hand select. So I like what he did last year. I think he's only gonna get better. So I'm gonna go Brian Flores.
Who won it last year? Was it the Bills coach?
I believe so. Let me check.
I don't know. When you're checking that, what do you got, Jared? Who do you think is going to be the Coach of the Year?
Coach of the Year. Damn, man, that is
it was
a
Stefanski.
Tough one.
Who is he? He's the
Kevin Stefanski.
What was that? Vikings?
Cleveland.
Oh yeah, well deserved. I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one, obviously. I probably am going to go with. Man, that's a good question. I wish I'm going to throw someone out of left field. I think for some reason, I think that the Panthers could be halfway decent this year. And I think Sam Darnold might have a little bit of a bounce back year. And if the Panthers make the playoffs, then I think Matt Ruley wins Coach of the Year. Because honestly, I was thinking, if I'm being honest, my first thought was Belichick because I thought, well, they went 7-9 last year. They're starting a rookie quarterback. If the Patriots are as good as we all think they are going to be, Belichick rarely wins Coach of the Year. I mean, when was the last time he won it? I don't even remember, honestly.
03, 07, and 2010.
So he hasn't won it since 2010. So if you're saying that Mac Jones is starting quarterback in the Patriots, so you know what? I switched my pick. It's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's going to win Coach of the Year. I think the Patriots are going to win 10, 11, possibly 12 games, seeing how well they play. And I think that if they make the playoffs with a rookie quarterback, especially the year after Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, I think the NFL will give Bill Belichick Coach of the Year because he's the best coach in the NFL and always has been over the past 10 years and hasn't won it once since 2010. I think he gets his fourth one.
I like that pick.
That's my pick. Bill Belichick. I'm changing it.
Put a lot of Patriot energy in this. I like it.
Well, that's who I was going with, so I got to change my. I'm going to change mine up a little bit. Man, that's tough. I think you're right. I think Bill, if they do win as many as we say they're going to win, I think that they have a good shot.
Just set it up for him, rookie quarterback. If they win 11, 12 games, they're coming off a 7-9 season. He releases Cam Newton, which is a controversial move. And if they go and make the playoffs, I think he hasn't won it in 11 years now because 2010. They'll probably give it to Belichick.
Man, that was pretty sold on. I'm gonna stick with Bill. That was my original. That was my original pick. I can't. I'm not looking at anyone that's grabbing me. I mean, Sean McDermott, but I think they're gonna win the same amount of games as they won. I don't think it's anything crazy. I think the Arizona Cardinals could have a big year. So Cliff Kingsbury, but I think Bill's gonna win it, dude. They went from a non-playoff team and they're starting a rookie quarterback. They're gonna hopefully win 12 games. What did they win? 6, 7 last year?
7-9.
7-9. So they're gonna almost double the amount of wins if they are what we said they're gonna do. I think it's no brainer, Bill. Rookie of the year. I'm not gonna, as much as I want to say Mac Jones is gonna be the rookie of the year, I'm gonna go with Trevor Lawrence. I think it's like a slam dunk pick. I think he's gonna have a really good year. I don't know how good the Jags are gonna be, but I think he's looks like the real deal. I also have him in Dynasty fantasy football, so I really hope he's good this year.
I'm going to say Justin Fields just because I think he has a little bit more weapons, especially Allen Robinson, and he still has Khalil Mack on his defense, so I think he'll be able to win a couple more games and be able to put up a little bit more stats because Lawrence is kind of running around with a bunch of rookies and have
Sharks.
So
Sharky.
Don't tell me Chark is a good wide receiver.
My guy, I think it's going to be Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is going to take over for Jimmy G no later than week 4 or 5 because I think that Kyle Shanahan is just itching to bench Jimmy G and go with the rookie quarterback. And I think, especially in the preseason with a lot of the big plays that we saw from Trey Lance, I'm not saying that he's going to be a above average quarterback in his first year in the NFL, but I do think we're going to see some crazy plays from him where he's rolling left, throwing right, throws a 60-yard touchdown. He's just that talented. So I could see him making big, splashy plays, NFL highlight reels, and that gets him to win NFL Rookie of the Year.
I like that pick because Herbert came in late last season too when he won it. So
I like that pick too. I think Trey Lance has shown super flashes in the preseason. I think you're right. I think week 4 is probably week 5. I think that's around when he'll actually play. I know he has that little injury that he's been dealing with, but I mean, 5 weeks in, I think they were saying he'd be out for 2 weeks. So I think week 5 kind of lines up with that. Defensive player of the year. I'll start us off on this one. This guy got absolutely robbed last year, and I think he's due for some good juju and to win. I'm going with TJ Watt. Kid got absolutely robbed last year from Darnold is one of the best defensive players in the league. TJ Watt had an unbelievable year last year, and he had better statistics in almost every category compared. And I think he's just going to be a monster again this year. The kid's the real deal. So I'm going with TJ Watt.
I'm going to go with the defensive rookie of the year, Chase Young. I think he makes that next step, and I think he's going to be the main dude this year.
Well, damn. Yeah, I'm going with TJ Watt. I think TJ Watt, again, he's one of the best players in the league. I think he's going to get recognized this year. Aaron Donald obviously gets a ton of credit. So he's even though he's an incredible player, he's not going to be in the running for it. Yeah, Chase Young, I agree. Incredible rookie season last year. I think he'll take another step forward. But I think at the end of the day, TJ Watt is just going to get the recognition that he deserves.
Yeah, I think he's going to get this one this year. Which brings us to the I think it's one of the main award, I guess, the main event, MVP. Who do we think is going to be the MVP of this season?
I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry.
Wow,
It's been a while
sneaky
since
pick.
it's been a while since we've had a MVP running back, so I'm gonna roll with King Henry. He had a very dominant year last year. I think he's gonna keep going, keep trucking. That offensive line stayed the same. If you look around, you had Rodgers won it last year. I don't think he's gonna put up the same insane numbers. Mahomes, we're seeing Mahomes isn't gonna start putting up 50 and 50 and 50 and 50 every single season, no matter how badly ESPN wants him to. Lamar took a huge step back last year. Kyler Murray didn't continue the trend I was hoping for. So I think the quarterbacks are starting to kind of lose a little bit of steam. So I think a nice solid running back is the way to go.
I put money on it, Danny Football. I think Odd Shark has him at plus 2,800.
Last MVP was Adrian Peterson. So it's possible, guys. There we go.
I like that pick. That's a sneaky pick right there.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Jared, what do you got?
I'm going Russell Wilson. I mean, this freaking guy, I feel like just carries the Seattle Seahawks year in and year out. And, there was that rumor, in the offseason that he possibly wanted to trade from Seattle and he wanted to get out of there. I just think it's certainly not make or break time for Russell Wilson in Seattle, but it's getting to that point where they have either Seattle's got to start being a Super Bowl contender again, or something needs to happen. I think Russell Wilson's going to have another incredible year, as he always does, as he did at the beginning of the last year and the year before. So I think he's going to put up gaudy numbers. I think Seattle will be a little bit better. I think they'll be in the playoffs. And I think that Russell Wilson will be the MVP of the year.
I like that pick. I think Russ is kind of getting frustrated because I don't think a lot of the quarterbacks have a say in who they bring in. And I really don't think up until this point, I don't think they asked Russ that much who do you want on this team, or at least delivered on what he wanted. So I think you're right. I think he's right in that sweet spot where, I mean, if you looked at the first half of last season, he was the MVP, slam dunk MVP. If he can put together the full season, he's without a doubt going to be the MVP. It's tricky for me. I go back and forth between a couple guys, but I think I'm going to go with a guy that's not really seen and talked about that much. But this year, I think he has a real shot to put up MVP numbers. And he's on a new team. He just joined a pretty solid offense with a coach that has this coach could actually win Coach of the Year. I'm going with Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford has a real shot.
Holy shit.
I think he has a real shot to be an MVP. I don't know what it is. But look at his team. He's got Robert Woods. He's got Cooper Kupp. He's got what's his name? Daryl Henderson. Sony Michel. No, I'm just kidding. But
Sony!
But I'm just kidding on Sony. But Tyler Higbee's a solid option at tight end. We've always talked about. I've always talked about. I think Stafford's a really good quarterback, and he's done it with little weapons. You're now putting him in there with an offensive-minded coach who has two of the best, I would say, two top wide receivers and a solid tight end. I think the defense is really solid. They're going to get him the ball a lot. I don't know. I'm not as sold as I was when I said last year in the way too early awards where I said Aaron Rodgers is going to be the MVP. But I think he has a sneaky shot to win the MVP. I really like Matt Stafford, and I missed out on him in my fantasy football draft tonight, and I was so upset about it. I think he's going to be really solid.
No, I like that pick too. Here's the funny thing, though. I think with the Rams, it's going to go. I feel like they're going to be either the best team in the NFC or they're going to suck. I don't know. Matt Stafford scares the shit out of me. I think he's a great quarterback. I think you put him in with Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Sean McVay, he's going to succeed. I also have no faith that Matt Stafford is going to make it through a 17-game season. And that scares me with the Rams. And actually, if there was a bust team pick, I would pick the Rams. Because I think everybody has them pegged for Super Bowl contention. And I could see it falling apart in Los Angeles.
Matt Stafford is plus 1,600, Big Red, if you want to put some money down.
It's a good bet.
You know the moment I fell in love with Matt Stafford? You know how you always have that moment when you fall in love with a player? It was that NFL Films moment when he like dislocated his shoulder and he came in and threw a game-winning touchdown. From that point on, I was like, this dude, I don't know. He's tough. He plays hurt. He did it for Detroit. He played for the Detroit Lions and he played hard for the Detroit, like a team that you knew was not going to win any game. Now he's in a winnable environment. I don't know. I think he has a shot to do it. All right. This is the Rams schedule. They're playing the Bears, the Colts, Bucks, Cardinals, Seahawks, Giants, Lions. That would be a good game when he plays the Lions. Texans, Titans, 49ers, Packers, Jags, Cardinals, Seahawks, he plays the Rams, Vikings, Ravens, 49ers. I mean, the only games that I think like they don't really, I mean, their defense is solid though. I don't know. I think they're going to win I think they could.
No, yeah. They're a good team. They should be right there. I totally agree with you. This is more of like a weird, maybe it's just an LA thing I have where I'm like, it's going to fall apart.
I don't know. I think you're right. I think there's a very strong chance. And if he gets hurt, it's over. Like that team is going to crumble. But if he can stay healthy.
No, I know. And just like the Super Bowl being in Los Angeles and then Tampa coming off and being the first team to play in the Super Bowl in their hometown. And everybody's like, oh, it's in LA, the Rams, Matt Stafford, like they're going to do what Tampa did last year. I don't know. It just feels like I could see it going south. I'm not saying they're going to go 3-14 or anything like that, but like for a team that loaded up as much as they did, brought in Matt Stafford, spent the money, like if they go, 9-8, something like that, that's to me kind of like falling apart a little bit. That team should have at least 13 wins.
I think they can. I mean, I'm also looking at.
Of course they can, yeah.
I'm also looking at like defensive wise, as of like I like the Seahawks are a good team, but that could be a shootout. The Giants don't have a really good defense. The Lions, I like Titans have a pretty good defense. 49ers have a good defense. Jags play the Seahawks. Like I'm looking at defensive wise, I think they can win a ton. Like I think you're right. If they win 9 games, then obviously something went wrong in that space. But I'm also not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl either. I think they're going to lose first or second round in the Super Bowl. I mean, in the playoffs. I think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're going to go that far. All right. So those are our way too early awards. We'll check in probably like midway through the season. We can change our pick. We'll update our picks, see if anything's changed. I can maybe get out of that Stafford pick if I'm not feeling confident in it. So I know Danny Football is excited about this. We haven't done it in a long time. It's for the first one of season 4. It's time for picks of the week.
Picks of the week.
So picks of the week, you pick one game each week from the NFL season. It can be any game. Danny Football is coming off a huge win in the NBA season. I'm not going to lie. He cleaned my clock in NBA. It wasn't even
easy
close.
when you just pick the Suns every week.
I started going with that mentality and I lost too. Danny Football, what's your pick of the week?
I'm going to go Bills over Steelers. Buffalo's -6.5. It's at home. Josh Allen's coming off a good season. Doug McDermott's coming off a good season. I think Orchard Park's going to be rocking. Over under 49. I want to take the Buffalo Bills.
That's a great first pick of the season. Jared, what do you got for us?
So it has to be with the points, right?
No, it's straight up.
I just tossed that in.
Well, that's no fun then. All right, well then, if we're going,
go ahead. I mean,
it's got to go spread. I don't have the spread.
Well, I have the spread in front of me. So I was looking at the spread. So if I'm going with a pick'em game, a straight pick'em game, I think Tampa's going to beat Dallas at home. They're coming off the Super Bowl victory. They're going to be celebrating. It's going to be a big night over in Tampa.
But will you take the 8 points?
I don't want the 7.5 points. That's why. So if we were doing a straight pick'em, I got Tampa over Dallas.
You're taking money line, okay.
But if I was doing the money line, I'm taking the Giants over the Broncos. The Broncos are in MetLife this weekend, and the Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. I think the Giants are going to win that game.
I take it. Yeah.
So you know what? My game, I'm just going to pick the Giants. I think the Giants are going to beat the Broncos at home week 1. I don't think the Giants are going to be very good, but I think that they're going to be. I don't think the Broncos are going to be very good either. I think they're going to beat them at home, season opener. There'll be some hype. So, and especially like it's just all they have to do is win. They don't have to cover because the Broncos are 2.5-point favorites. So I got the Giants over the Broncos.
I like it. We brought out gambling, Jared.
Gambling Jared's more fun.
This is definitely a lot of fun.
All on black.
I like it. I'm gonna go with Chargers over Washington football team. I think Washington football team's got a great defense, but I think a new year of Herbert, he's just gonna come in and light it up week one. They're on the road, a little challenging playing in the football team home stadium. I think Justin Herbert's gonna have a big year. He was the one I was debating with on the other for MVP. I know he had a lot of second year quarterbacks winning the MVP over the last few years. So I think he's going to have a huge year, and I think he's going to start it off on Sunday at 1:00. So I'm going Chargers over Washington.
There we go.
Put it.
I like it. No faith in Fitz magic.
I love Fitz, dude, but I love Herbert even more.
So yeah, how do you boys feel about the Red Sox?
If you asked me 24 hours ago, if you asked me on Sunday, I would have said, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good. We were 4-2 in the last week. Starting to turn this thing around, and then you asked me Monday at 10:20 p.m. I am absolutely floored.
Dude, we're back in the series. We're back in the World Series at 11:00 this morning. Holy crap!
Even if you look at the second inning in this game, I thought we were looking pretty good. Like 7-1, we're looking pretty good. We're rolling, and then I don't know, man. This team is just so infuriating. It really is. I will never give up. I'm not ready to give up on them, but I'm like at the door where I'm like ready to leave. Like I'm at the door. I'm not going to leave, but I'm at the point where it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it sucks. Logically, I'm not giving up on them because I don't believe in the Yankees or the the Oakland A's or who's the other team in the hunt? The Blue Jays.
Yeah, I don't believe in them.
I don't buy any of those teams. So that's why I'm still on the Sox. But like emotionally, I'm so ready. I want to be done with this team. This team pisses me off. Like get 7-1. 7-1 against the Rays. You're coming off a good weekend. You take 2 out of 3 from Cleveland. You've been playing better after that debacle after the trade deadline. So you're starting settling. Things are looking fine. You have the Rays at home, big series. First game, you got Chris Sale. You go up 7-1. And it's like, okay, things are looking good. You know, we're trending back in the right direction. Maybe we can start playing the way we did before the trade deadline. And then boom, Verdugo can't see the ball because of the sun. There's stupid errors. We're throwing the ball around. We can't have timely hits. It's just like, God, this team pisses me off. Anyway, that's my rant.
It's embarrassing, dude. Like you can't do that. You can't when you have Chris Sale going into a game, right? And you give him a 7-1 lead. You can't screw that up for him. 4 errors, man. 4 errors for the Sox.
You can't blow that game.
You can't.
Period. Story over. Like you cannot lose that game.
And you know what? I also I felt like we had a little positivity because we added Jose Iglesias, which isn't like a blockbuster ad, but it's at least like, oh, all right, we added someone else to like kind of just have in our tool belt to go down the stretch. And, especially with all these COVID cases on the Sox and it's kind of depleting our team. I was like, all right, we got another veteran guy to come in and play today. He actually played today. And I actually felt pretty good. I was like, all right, that's another positive thing. Like we're starting to turn around. We're adding some guys and we just absolutely blow it. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Dude, I had no idea that we added Jose Iglesias till I was listening to the game on the radio today. And I heard, I forget, it wasn't.
He had an RBI today.
It's the radio guys. Yeah, he was on second base and they're like, Jose Iglesias on second. I'm like, Jose Iglesias? I was like, is this fucking 2014? What year am I in right now?
I wish it was 2014 so we didn't have to listen to that absolutely it was absolutely terrible. I mean, this pen is absolutely I don't have any faith in the bullpen. I'm going to give Garrett Whitlock a little bit of a pass today because he's been absolutely lights out all season. I think you give him a little bit of a pass. But this bullpen is absolutely atrocious. I think I talked highly of moving Garrett Richards to the bullpen because he's actually looked pretty good out of there. You give him an inning, 2 innings out of the bullpen. I think it's not a bad thing, but you can't blow this game like that. It was like Yankees lost today. You were going to go up another game. Like you're going to move up a little bit more on the Yankees. You were going to kind of not saying close the gap because I don't think they're going to catch You would have went ahead of the Yankees. Excuse me. You would have been in second place. You would have been 7 games out of first, which I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, it would have been such a positive, kept the momentum and a positive spin on the day. Now it just takes all the wind out of your sails. We're 9 games out, game back of the Yankees. Now you got to worry about the Mariners. I mean, the Mariners, I don't think you have to worry about too much. But the Mariners are ahead of the Athletics now. So it's Yankees, then Red Sox. Then it's between the Blue Jays, Mariners, and Athletics. I mean, you're right. I'm not scared of those other teams, but it's just like mentally, it's just checks. It's like
it just sucks. It sucks that I have to still be in on the Red Sox, not because of the Red Sox, but because of the other teams in the AL.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I want to root for this team, but they just continuously do stupid crap like today, blow games, and they're just hard to root for right now. It sucks.
If you want a little positivity, Jared, the Red Sox have won the World Series every time I've changed schools or graduated from school. And I graduated my master's this year. So I law of averages, they're going to win this World Series.
Well, first of all, congratulations. And secondly, I hope you're right.
That I don't really care about graduating. I more care about the Red Sox winning the World Series. If the Red Sox win the World Series, I'll go back to school next year.
Wow, dude, I forgot about the Mariners. Yeah, the Mariners are right there too. So we're technically a half game back of the Yankees right now.
Yeah.
And then we are 79. We're 4 games up on the Mariners, about 5 games up on the Athletics.
Yeah, I think the Athletics and the Blue Jays are about the same. I think the Blue Jays maybe are a half a game up on the Mariners because they have 1 less loss.
Yeah.
So it goes Mariners, Blue Jays, Athletics. And the Athletics are going to just keep falling out.
Yeah, but the problem is, so that we have 2 more games against the Rays, and then we have a weekend series against the White Sox. So hopefully we take 2 out of 3 there. And then we're in Seattle for 3 games next week. Wow, what a big series that is. Because you gotta take 2 out of 3 there. You can't lose 2 out of 3.
You can't. And
the saving grace is that we play the Orioles. We play the Orioles quite a bit down the stretch. So they suck.
You got 2 games against the Mets, who are terrible too. So that's that's a good thing. And you can the Yankee series is going to be huge because you got to win those games to try to because they're going to be in that wild card spot too. I mean, the ball is in their court. They got to be able to do it. They got to be able to win. They got to win these games down the stretch. They can't lose games like they did today against Tampa. We'll try to keep the negativity down in this podcast. We're going to move on from them, and we're going to get into our final segment of the night, the People's Topic.
It's the People's Topic, baby! People's Topic.
All right, for People's Topic, you can write in our Instagram and Twitter page at Big Red Zone. You can leave us a question, comment, whatever you want us to talk about. Today, we're going to go with our main man, Joseph_Celia. He says, do you like the, I think he meant, do you like the comparison between Stevenson and Blunt? Like player comp between Stevenson and Blunt.
I mean, if he wants to be the all-time leader in Patriots running back touchdowns, I'll take that. I'll never say no to poaching a goal line touchdown. So if Stevenson wants to be Blunt and score about 15 touchdowns in the season, by all means, I like it.
I hope I hope you're right. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I haven't really seen him in a regular season game, so I can't really say. I mean, he's looked really good at preseason, but
I hadn't seen anyone even compare the two, but that was the first I'm hearing of it.
Joseph_Celia is trying to jump ahead of the curve, I guess. He's trying
I like the comparison. I mean, sure, why not? I like Stevenson. Blunt was like, I was never a big Blunt guy. Like, I liked him. He was good,
Yeah.
But, like, I think Blunt, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Lawrence Maroney, Stephen Ridley, I just think that they're all pretty close. And so, hey, listen, if Stevenson could be that guy, I'm happy.
If he could be that role player on the for our team, I'll be super happy for that. Remember, you can write in each week for People's Topic at Big Red Zone at Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow us, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give us a like on this video as well as all our other videos. You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. My thanks to Danny Football and Jared Haibon for joining this week. Have a great week, everyone.